Hello, everyone. Man, has it been an incredible Black History Month? And here we are on the final celebration, but yet the launch of a new celebration where this is our closing event for Black History Month. And we are also launching our celebration for Women's HERstory Month. So thank you so much for joining us. My name is Gia Marone, President of Women Grow, and we are here with an incredible showcase of Black women-owned and women-led businesses in the cannabis industry. Today, we are partnering with Marijuana Matters, and they're based out of Washington, D.C. They're doing incredible work there with a number of businesses in the DMV area. And I am so honored that Courtney Davis will be joining me. Where is Courtney?
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. It's always a pleasure when I get to talk to you more than once in a day. So
okay, right. I was just gonna say, I felt like I just talked to you. And so here we are. We've been talking about this for some time. And when I came to you, I said, hey, we want to do this collaboration with you, and we want to do it on March 1st. And you were like, hi. And I was like, well, we did some research and learned that Black History Month for the first time is actually being acknowledged from February 1st through March 1st. But March 1st also begins the Women's History Month celebration. So I was like, we have to end it with a partnership that will highlight women-owned, women-led businesses. And so this is exciting to have you here with us, bringing these incredible businesses. But before we get started on the showcases, can you tell us more about Marijuana Matters?
Sure. Thank you to Women Grow, and thank you to Gia for having us. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to be around strong women of color in particular. And so I'm thankful to be here and be able to talk a little bit about Marijuana Matters and to showcase what I like to think of as the DMV's finest cannabis entrepreneurs. But Marijuana Matters, my name is Courtney Davis. I'm the executive director of Marijuana Matters. It's a social enterprise organization that works to ensure that social equity is at the cornerstone of the legalized cannabis industry. We have 3 pillars: entrepreneurship, advocacy, and education. And the individuals that we're going to talk to today, we have met through mostly of our entrepreneurship panel, getting to know the folks in the industry in DC, Maryland, and Virginia that are looking to make waves in cannabis and have been doing so for the past couple of years. And so the work that we do is supporting entrepreneurship, meeting people where they are. We offer a boot camp that 2 of these ladies are a part of, that hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about later. For our education arm, we really think there's a lot of re-education that needs to occur to specific groups of stakeholders, whether it's educating community members, public institutions, or business owners on what we think social equity should look like within this legalized industry. And for our advocacy arm, we work primarily with elected officials on specific policies that can truly promote social equity and creating safe ways to implement so that we can really repair the harms that have been done from the war on drugs.
Wow. And I love that it's coming out of our nation's capital. And, with all that's happening in DC, and then also to be able to highlight these incredible businesses in the area. Thank you so much. I've heard a lot about your boot camps. I've heard a lot of amazing results coming out of it. So I'm excited to see two of your boot camp members. And I also peeped your new merch that came out. And so I am I was like, Marijuana Matters has some really cute merch that's coming
Thank
out. I
you.
love it. So I definitely have to support. Well, I don't want to take up more time because this is really about extending our platform to you all today. So I want to pass the mic to you, Courtney, and to your incredible showcase businesses. So I'm going to step back, and then we're going to allow our producer to begin the showcase, and I'll rejoin you at the end. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, looking forward to it. All right. I think up first we have Keisha Reed with Explore Maryland and Madam Green Grow.
Hello, hello. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored and so grateful to be a part of this showcase. My name is Keisha Reed. I am the CEO and founder of Explore Maryland Cannabis, and I also run an amazing organization called Madam Green Grow, which serves women of color who are looking to be a part of the cannabis community. I've been a part of this community for about 7 years, just did the numbers, and I'm proud to kind of announce that our cohort, the Fab Five that Marijuana Matters has us in, is coming up on a year. So that has been an amazing opportunity where we've been able to be placed in rooms, in person or virtual, and have our names, spoken among some of the greats. So I'm so thankful that I had this opportunity. But let me talk a little bit about Explore Maryland Cannabis. That's my baby right now, and I'm super passionate about the work that we're doing. We know that in Maryland, 10% of our workforce in the cannabis space are patients, and being able to provide a pathway for them to enter into the ecosystem and stay in the ecosystem is super important. One of our goals is to bring on about 200 candidates through the ecosystem. We have virtual and in-person trainings that we do on a monthly and almost weekly basis to get folks prepared for this ecosystem. We also serve small businesses and entrepreneurs who are looking to enter into the ecosystem. And then, of course, lastly, for those who have entered into the great resignation, for those who are looking to pivot and transition into cannabis, there's a place for them here as well. So that is what Explore Maryland Cannabis is all about. We are a community membership organization that does amazing outreach. I'm also super honored to hold another hat for Madam Green Grow, and we've got some great opportunities and projects coming out of that organization in the next couple of weeks. But thank you so much, Women Grow, for this platform. This is Women Grow. This is a full circle moment for me. One of my first entrances into the cannabis space was through a Women Grow membership meeting in DC, where I'm originally from. So I'm super honored, super blessed to be able to be a part of this and a part of this industry, because it is a growing, booming industry, and it's amazing space for folks who look like me and you. So thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tamika Aldridge, and I am the co-founder of the Reset Wellness Group here in Washington, D.C. We are a cannabis wellness and consulting group. We offer cannabis education. We offer a product line, a hemp-infused product line that my husband and I just made from scratch. we got connected with Marijuana Matters through an organic mutual friend and introduced me to Khadijah. And from there, our business has just kind of grown. One of the things that we're doing now is we're in the middle of a rebrand because during the pandemic, we realized that wellness needed to be our focus and not just the cannabis education. When I started learning about cannabis and its medicinal properties, I was blown away. Then when I started trying the products, I was blown away again. I had only been a recreational user of cannabis. So learning all of this stuff, here I am thinking I'm learning the plant, but the plant was actually helping me learn myself. And it kind of catapulted me into this whole wellness journey that has just been very eye-opening and has connected us to so many wonderful people in the cannabis industry. We actually had the opportunity through Marijuana Matters to participate in Curaleaf's Rooted in Good program. And through that program, we've had access to resources and mentorship that would have cost us thousands and thousands of dollars. Our craft beverage is what we're most known for. We make everything by hand. Everything is all natural. We source our cannabis from Black-owned farms. And what we've been doing with Curaleaf is really just scientifically formulating the beverages and getting them retail ready. So we're also, like as Keisha was saying, we're coming up on our year of being in that program. We actually got great news today. Some data points came in today. But we're super excited. We're honored to be a part of this. This is also a full circle moment for me. My very, very first cannabis event was the Women Grow Summit here in DC. And I actually didn't even have business cards. I just knew I wanted to be in the industry, and people said this is the place to be. So I volunteered. I actually was able to get in as a volunteer, but kind of snuck into some classes as well. So again, seeing Gia, it was just made my heart smile because I remember explaining to her, like, I don't even have a business card yet. And her and Dr. Chandra just telling me to stick to it, keep it going. And now we have, 2 years later, we have our own beverage. So thank you again for all the encouragement, ladies.
Hi, my name is Nacia Hill, and I am the co-founder of Pinkstone DC, a women's social club based in DC. I've been doing this for about 5 years now with my business partner, Kimmy Brown, and we have hosted several events to connect women to high quality CBD, THC brands. And our motto is we love to connect with women on a higher level over a dope social experience. We want to make sure that women are allowed to experience cannabis in a social setting. And due to COVID, we haven't hosted any public events in the last 2 years, but we have shifted. So again, focusing on high quality products and connecting women, and our reach goes beyond just cannabis. I've connected with women across several industries. My background is actually in public health policy, and I am a former regulator, prescription drug regulator, and I was at the agency when they approved the first CBD drug, and that's how I got interested in this industry. I went on and I got my first medical cannabis job at Marion, Maine, here in Capitol Heights, Maryland. It is the first Black-owned dispensary, and Hope Wiseman took a chance on a newbie, and that was my first entry into the cannabis space. And since then, I've served as a brand ambassador for several brands, and I really like to connect women with Black-owned brands because I feel like we've been disproportionately affected, by the war on drugs. So that is our mission. Again, if you want to follow us and keep up with us, I am on Instagram, Pinkstone DC, and another way to stay up to date with all of our events is to sign up for our email list on our website, pinkstonedc.com/join. So thank you, Women Grow and Marijuana Matters, for this amazing opportunity. I couldn't say thank you enough.
Hi, everyone. I am Ashley Jeltz, the founder and chief herbalist of the High Priestess Herbal Wellness. A little bit about me, just because it goes a lot into our brand story and company history. So I'm a trained community herbalist. By trade, I'm an engineer. I work in the software industry. I'm an intuitive and I'm a wellness practitioner. So yoga, Reiki, meditation, I've taught and I'm certified in all those things. And so I have a history of working in the wellness industry. And I decided to start a company because I truly believe in the transformative power of plant medicine. Like that's my mission personally. And I want to bring that to people in a way that helps them live better. But going back to the bit about me being a wellness practitioner, I worked in that industry for so many years, very rarely saw people that were from Black, brown, and queer communities being serviced and being seen. And so it was really important to me to center the needs, the health and wellness needs of people from the communities that I'm either a part of or in an affinity to. And so that really goes into my product offerings, right? And so I'm here, really, like I said, to just help people understand how to use plant medicine to help them live better. And so what does it look like? Imagine a world where you can, rather than relying on nothing at all, like so many people do, or different drugs or prescription medications, but a world where you can use plants, cannabis, and herbs to feel less anxious, to show up as a better partner, as a better parent, right? A better employer, better lover, right? To increase your sensitivity and your pleasure during sex, to sleep better, to sleep at all, right? To deal with insomnia, or generally just to be in a state of flow. And so these are the sort of things that I think about, and that goes into the product line or the products that I offer. And so I want to just showcase a couple of them today, and then invite you all to check out the website to get the full rundown. But I primarily work on hemp flower herbal smoke blends and CBD-based aphrodisiacs. So that's my two focal points. And so all of my smoke blends are actually, if y'all can see them, are actually designed to do a particular thing. So we have like a beautiful one for like an aphrodisiac one. It's got damiana, hemp, everything has hemp in it, but hemp, rose. So herbs that really sort of open up the heart, mind, and body and prepare for intimacy. Same thing, I'll go quickly, but like moving through. So something for sleep herbs and cannabis to help you sort of sleep, get better. This one here, the High Priestess, is our general one. And I'm thinking people don't know enough about how, particularly cannabis smokers, don't know enough about how to really enhance your smoke through herbal smoke blends, right? So if you have never tried mixing a little bit of your THC-based cannabis with something like lavender or chamomile or rose, that's what this is. That's what this does. It takes it up a notch. It tastes better, and you really just feel amazing. So like that's, if you haven't tried that, just side note, my company or not, you really need to be. And then I also mentioned that we offer a line of CBD aphrodisiacs. And so imagine taking cannabis, right? We have an endocannabinoid system that's designed to really help the body, like help the body. Oh, I'm losing my words, y'all. Sorry, give me one sec. Looking at the comments, losing my train of thought. Give me one sec. But we have a cannabinoid system that's designed to benefit from the power of the cannabis plant. That's what I'm trying to say, right? And so on top of that, all of my products really like integrate other herbs that help. So we have a clitoral arousal oil that really does just that. You can rub it on your labia and your clitoris. For all humans with clitorises and vulvas, wait a few minutes before getting intimate with your partner. It really wakens you up, right? So that's what my products do. I don't want to talk too much about them. I'd say check out the website. Two things that are important to note. High Priestess Herbal Wellness is the name of my company. So if you just Google those words, you'll find us. And right now we're offering a special for 20% off all orders. So if you go to the website, you can get a code for that. And then check us out on IG. We're always there offering flash sales, promos, and really just good stuff. Because in addition to, again, I mentioned the communities that we're a part of. In addition to just focusing on our products, I really love creating community with people. So really getting reaching out to people, talking about things like mental health, talking about sexual pleasure, talking about wellness, talking about how we need to show up better and how we can use plants and plant medicine to help us. So please come visit me online, on Instagram, wherever. I'm here. Go to the website. And then lastly, I'd like to thank Women Grow and all of these wonderful Black women entrepreneurs doing the damn thing, killing it. Happy Women's History Month. Happy Black History Month. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, wow. Okay. That was interesting. I learned a lot. And Ashley, you don't have to worry about speeding past anything that you were talking about, because I can guarantee you that women are in the comments wanting to know more about what you're offering. So don't feel like you got to rush through that. But
listen, I saw him and I was like, I'm thinking about this question, but I'm also like, let me focus. Can't look. But listen, I can talk about this ad nauseum. Like, if y'all haven't tried herbs with your cannabis, you're missing out. If you haven't tried enhancing your sex life with cannabis, I just don't even have words. Like, this is perhaps a tiny bit of an overshare, but let's just get into it, right? Like, I had some pleasure. I had sex. I literally had like shakes for, I don't know, this is like, not to get too much into it, but like, I really want to talk about these things, right? Like, plants can change our lives. They can like help us be better. And I just want to share that with the world. Honestly, that's my thing. But let me turn off the mic because I'm gonna just keep talking.
No, yeah, that's interesting, because I do think that a lot of that was going to be one of my kind of questions for you, is that there's a lot of sexual health and wellness that's geared towards men in particular. And so, you mentioned that your background a little bit as an engineer, and now in cannabis, which, are two male dominated industries. And so I'd love for you to just talk a little bit more about kind of what led you to want to continue into another male dominated industry and really be bold with what you were planning, what your business plan was.
Yeah, I think so. You're actually touching on upon a couple of things, like just the underwhelming, or rather overwhelming, absence of Black folk, brown folk, and women in cannabis, trying to break into different industries. I think for me, like, I don't know. I think I would be remiss to not shout out my Nana and like the strong Black women that raised me with the mantra of who's gonna stop me, right? Like, I'm here. I really do want to change the world with plants, and I'm that's my mission, y'all. I just want to share that with folks. And so I think just like showing up in that space, and showing up like authentically and unafraid, to talk about things that are difficult and to do things that are difficult. I think that's like super transformative. But yeah, like I think in the comments it said y'all need to have me back to talk about sex and cannabis. Listen, I don't know like how what's the word, not safe for work this is, if people are listening to this in the background or not, but I'm happy to go there. I'm happy to roll it back. You tell me.
No, that's interesting. I wanted to get some specific questions for you guys and then just kind of talk generally. But this question is for Keisha. As many of us know, the cannabis industry moves really quickly. And last night, Keisha and I participated in Prince George's County Young Democrats Town Hall, where we discussed Maryland's pathway to legalization through a referendum in November. Can you talk a little bit about what that means for your brand and how you plan to position yourself to help support the industry? We talked a lot about education, but things are coming down the pike. And if Maryland does legalize through the referendum, there'll be a legislative process that follows for licenses. Can you talk a little bit about what you plan on doing with your Explore Maryland business to get ready for that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of the biggest things that I'm really focusing on is helping people understand that when adult use hits, it's going to shake what we think the economy looks like currently. It's going to affect schools. It's going to affect businesses. People are leaving their jobs because of a pandemic. People are going to leave their jobs because they're going to see the opportunities of what they could bring to cannabis. I have people who come to me all the time and they say, well, you know, I'm a CPA, or I work in corporate, or I've been in government, and I secretly, you know, have to test every so often. Imagine what the possibilities would be if people didn't have to think in that decrim type of mind. For my brand specifically, I want to integrate with the state. We have a huge workforce and educational component, and getting Black and Brown folks at the table, in the pipeline, promoted in these C-suites is super important, and is one of my missions and passions, while also building community. Because cannabis is at the end of the day, it can affect business, it can make a lot of money, but it is still very much a community aspect. So when Maryland goes adult use, the opportunities will be endless, and I can't wait to take advantage of all of them.
Yes, that is exciting. DC and Maryland and Virginia have been making a lot of moves in cannabis, and so it's important that we all know ways that we can support each other. This question is for Nacia. I wanted to talk a little bit about your digital footprint. I absolutely love the way that you show up online, and you mentioned that you've been able to step into this ambassador space, which I truly enjoy. Brand ambassadors in a number of different industries, you know, as someone that would consider themselves plus size. Like, I love following ambassadors that are trying on different clothes so that I could see. And so I just kind of love the way that this industry has given women the opportunity to monetize that and also, you know, showcase products. And so I just want to talk a little bit more with you about any advice that you may have for women looking to land some of those partnerships and how you were able to do so.
Sure, thank you. So, like I said, I started Pink Stone because I felt like there was a void in the space for women, especially, and not just for women like me, but everything was like girl culture. It wasn't luxury. You know, now it's this Black girl luxury is the thing, but I've been living this Black girl luxury life. So I'm also just a product junkie. I am willing to try any and everything at least once. So it kind of came out organically. Like, I would try things and I would share it. And especially when we would host our events, I always wanted to partner with high quality brands that I would use myself, things that are actually good products. So I would share things on Instagram, and, you know, people started to take notice. So right now I am a brand ambassador for Brown Girl Jane, which is also a Black woman owned plant-based wellness. They carry CBD products. They have jellies, which are edibles. They have tinctures, and now they even have a perfume, which I absolutely love. Like, I kid you not, if you're like a perfume girl, Brown Girl Jane is it. I would use this if I wasn't a brand ambassador. So I've been doing that. A few other brands have reached out. And again, when I host these events, my biggest setback is sponsorship. So getting, you know, products in the right hands, you know, brands are always looking for that. So I provide them with that. Like, I have the audience, you know what I mean? And they're just trying to get their products in front of my girls. And that's what I pride myself on doing. And again, strictly quality products. If I wouldn't use it, I will not promote it. So for anybody who's looking to get into this space, I would say start by doing the things that you love organically, and people are going to take notice. And you'd be surprised. I'm actually surprised that people pay attention to, you know, what I do. So I'm thankful for the support. And again, I couldn't do all of this. I do have a partner, my girl Kimmy. She's not here today, but she's my creative backing. So she helps a lot with that kind of stuff too.
That's awesome. Our founder, Khadijah, also loves Brown Girl Jane. She told me about it. I love their tinctures, and I did buy the Casablanca perfume because I saw you posted it. I texted you about it. I was like, how does it smell? I was like, I've never bought a perfume online that I never even smelled it before. But I trusted you, and I love their products, and it does smell pretty good. So that's awesome. Tamika, question for you. I just love your story, and I'm excited for folks to get to know you a little bit more. You're a Canna mom, a woman of faith, one of the many stakeholder groups that we like to activate are faith leaders, women, mothers, all of the groups that we think care a lot about civil rights and decriminalization issues. And I just wanted to get your perspective on how you plan to talk to to have these tough conversations with folks in the industry about your livelihood and the way that you're supporting your family through your legal cannabis business.
So I am a preacher's kid. So getting into the industry, it was a little controversial at first. And that made me actually want to focus on faith-based communities. So when I first got in the industry, people were like, girl, you are crazy. These church folks is not going to let you in. And I was like, I got this, because when you're younger, you're raised to, follow the 10 commandments. Don't lie, don't steal, don't. But then as you get older in the church, you notice that some of them step out back to smoke their cigarettes. Some of them are at the Marriott bar, because I worked for Marriott, and I would see them at the bar and I'm like, oh, this is what we do. So why can't they learn about cannabis? So once I got one church to agree to let me come in and do a workshop, it just was on from there. Because one church lady gonna tell the next. Now they love our juices. And then we also have a pain salve that we do, our relief bar. But being a Christian, being a mother, and doing all of these things that I do within cannabis, I actually was way more supported than I wasn't. I was on a panel last night when we were talking about, Black parents and cannabis and how to have age appropriate conversations. Because people always say, well, during the pandemic, your kids are, you have little kids, what are you doing to smell? And I'm like, well, we have machines for that, Black owned and Black made, that, there's no smell. But, I just had those conversations with my daughter is 9 years old. My son is 4. He just knows it's mommy and daddy's medicine. He could care less. But my daughter, she is so involved in the business. She helps put the labels on products. She's now, as our rebranding, we have her on our social media team because she's great. Of course, the young people love TikTok. So being able to incorporate her into the actual business, so she's hearing us use the proper language, she's hearing us use the, calling the plant the proper name. When she's out and she hears somebody say, something that's wrong, oh, she's going to correct you. She's the kid that's like, no, it's not weed, it's cannabis, So I am so proud of her. Even if I'm talking about the business and I forget something, she's like, but mommy, you forgot to tell them we have delivery. So I encourage all parents, yes, do what's best for your household. Your own children, what age they can comprehend certain things. So having those age appropriate conversations, I think in my case, it was like such a bad thing. I came up in DARE, Say No to Drugs, that when it was introduced to me, I was then sneaking and who knows what I was smoking, so I would rather foster an environment where not just my kids, but I work with a lot of young people. That is my passion. I love the youth in Washington, D.C., and really trying to help them even learn how to go from legacy to legal, because I represent for the legacy brands, so helping them flip their business into a legal hemp business. I mean, I like she was saying, like Ashley was saying, I could talk about this all day long. We were doing things in the industry, just giving job opportunities. I didn't even know there was a name for it, social equity. I didn't even know that that's what it was. These were just things that were in my heart and that we were passionate about, that we wanted to make sure was the foundation of our business.
Yeah, that's really important. I remember I had a conversation with someone about allyship, and we were talking about supporting the youth and making sure that they're educated properly. We all are now being re-educated because, as you mentioned, we're all a part of the DARE generation or even previous to that. And it's really, like you said, a lot of us that were participating in this industry were sneaking around and supporting folks in the legacy industry. I remember when I first started into this industry, I had a career on Capitol Hill that I had been working on for about 10 years. And, my parents are supportive of me, and I confide in my mom a lot. And when I knew I was ready to leave, and I was telling her about Khadijah, who I met on LinkedIn, and this organization called Marijuana Matters, and they want to pay me to do policy. My mom was, I actually had another job offer at the time with an agriculture group. And my mom was like, so wait a minute, you got a job offer. You're going to be doing policy, but you want to do marijuana? And I really just had to follow my heart and take a risk, like so many of you guys said earlier. So curious to know what that moment was like for you when you decided that this is what you were going to do in the industry, having those tough conversations, and what was your why in doing so? And this is for anybody to answer.
Okay, well, since my mic was off, I'll continue. My why, or what really made me decide to go all in with the industry, was my husband actually was trying to start the business, and he couldn't due to previous convictions. So again, I didn't know about social equity, anything in the cannabis space. So I just said, well, just let me do it. I'll put everything in my name, and you can go from there. But then as I started learning, I was just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And I had already loved the plant as a recreational thing. So once the medicinal got introduced to me, I was all in. I couldn't not. I just resigned from my job. I was like, okay, babe, I can't do this no more. I think we need to focus on. And he was like, come on. And for the past 3 years, I've been a full-time cannabis entrepreneur.
So I'll go. So I have a similar background as to Courtney. I was a federal drug regulator for almost 10 years, and there were a lot of things that I could not do publicly because of my job. So it was a little bit difficult for me. And I think with the pandemic, and also my mom was diagnosed with cancer, just everything changed for me. And I knew like, this is what I was passionate about. I was still working, like I said, for Marion, Maine as a dispensary agent part-time, but my passion was for the people and really, showing people that there are therapeutic benefits to introducing cannabis into your lifestyle, and you don't have to just smoke. You know what I mean? Like it's not just about getting high. So many of the patients that would come in, they were going through chemo, and they would tell me how it helped them, or they were trying to get off the prescription drugs. So that's what really made me want to go full force. So in 2020, I did leave the federal government to consult full time, and I've been doing it for 2 years now. And honestly, it was the best decision for me. And as Courtney mentioned, the brand ambassadorships, that helps me supplement my income, and just having a very supportive family and friends. So I encourage anybody, follow your passion, and it's going to come. I tell everyone, even when I was doing this, like, I'm doing this scared, you know what I mean? But I'm doing it. So.
Yeah, I mean, very, very similar story. I found medicinal cannabis in 2016, completely changed my life, became a patient in Maryland, and then decided that I wanted to slow walk out of my job, left my job March 19th of 2021. So I'm coming up on a year of full-time entrepreneurship. I'm doing it scared every day. I'm thankful for my fiance who holds me down. I'm thankful for my family and my friends who remind me that, like, them long smoke breaks you took on your lunch, like, girl, just think about how many breaks you can have now, right? And it's just really, it's serendipitous, it's ironic, it's crazy, but it's definitely the right path. So if you feel it in your bones and you're tired of airing out before a long lunch break, peace them out.
Literally screaming what Keisha just said. I really do have a lot of whys. I'm gonna see if I can try to bring it all together, right? So I think for me, I got into specifically the plants that I work with. Really just like I'm a woman that lives with anxiety, that deals with anxiety, that like is managing post-traumatic stress. And I came across CBD was introduced, medicinal, like therapeutic CBD usage was introduced to me shortly in New York. I was in New York at the time, like right after the Farm Bill passed is when I started seeing stuff. And there was a place that I would go into and just kind of talk to them about like what I was experiencing. And that's where I kind of got my first, like, little intro into like what's high, broad spectrum versus full spectrum versus all the things. And so I really, I got into hemp-based cannabis. And it really helped with my anxiety. It helped my mental health. It helped me show up better at work. It helped me show up better, like in so many ways, it helped me show up, right? And so, like I said, I'm a trained herbalist. I started integrating herbs I'd learned about that I'd learned were either I could smoke with them or I could make tinctures or medicine with them. And I really, like everything I did, I really just started with me and my own journey with my own health. And they turned into things that I really thought could help other people. And so again, going back to it, I think in part too, I have to say, like my company is called the High Priestess Herbal Wellness. Thinking kind of, it's from like a sort of spiritual herbalism perspective, right? So like all plants have energetic spiritual qualities, and sort of tapping into that. I believe that this is a bit ancestral for me. Like, I don't think this is the first time someone in my family lineage has worked with plants and tried to like spread plant medicine and help people heal and like manage their health through plant. I know it's not like the way that I communicate with the plants. And so I'm really just trying to share that with people because I think we need it. So our community needs it definitely. Yeah, those are many of my whys.
Yeah, and to segue off of that question when you talked about the name, I love learning more about how folks come up with a name for their brand and also what part of yourself shows up in that business. I have a friend that owns a clothing line. It's called Lizmore, and it's part of her grandmother's name who taught her how to sew. And so I'd love to learn more about the name behind you guys' brands and what part of yourself shows up with your business. Start with Tamika.
Oh wow. So the Reset Wellness Group, it came to us. Our original name was something like the Grand Wellness or something like that. And it just wasn't sitting well with us. And my husband was in the kitchen one day and he was just like, we just need a reset. And I was like, that's it. Reset Wellness, because we all need to reset and relearn and So I think what I bring and what I infuse into our brand is I do a lot of community work. I do a lot of volunteer work, like I said, with the youth. So our mission is to build community resilience and well-being by changing the perception and redefining, how people consume cannabis. Like I said, we have the drinks. We made sure that we can kind of have products that our clients, we stayed craft cannabis just to make sure, they get the proper medicine out of the products. I'll just say it like that. So that's how we came up and with the name. And then we all are in the process of doing a reset. Like I said, the plant is now healing us, and we didn't want to seem like frauds, because that's how I started feeling. I really felt like, well, dang, let me heal myself and then I can finish healing the people. So that is what Reset is all about.
That part. I'm actually looking through a deck of tarot cards so I can try to find this tarot card. But the tarot card, the High Priestess, is actually the inspiration for my company name. And so that tarot card represents sort of like experiencing both sides of the veil. So like being in the physical world and being in the spiritual world. And I think that is essentially what the experience of being using cannabis as a plant medicine is like, right? So obviously we are human bodies, like we can, however you consume it, if you smoke it, if you take it as a tincture, as an edible, however, right? We're having a physical experience with that plant, but we're also having a spiritual one, right? The sort of ideas that come to us, the conversations, the enlightenment, the mind opening, the body opening, like that's a spiritual experience as well. And I think that cannabis to me is an interesting plant because it's something that can help us tap into both sides, I think, of the veil, essentially. And so that's where the company name came from. And again, like I said, like I know I sound super woo, but I really am like an engineer, very like logical, heads down, day by day. But I sit with the plants. I meditate on all the plants that I go with, and I was like, yeah, I think this is the high priestess makes sense. It's just that's what we're about, like bridging that gap, using plants to sort of just elevate our wellness.
So for me, I don't have a super deep meaning. People who indulge in the plant were always called stoners, and I was like, I don't really like that name. So when I launched, I wanted something that was feminine but felt like me. And Pink Stone, it just came to me and it made sense. And it still gives people a sense of what is Pink Stone. And I always wanted people to be interested and not just say, oh, this is a cannabis business or something like that. So it gives you a little bit of mystery, and also like now I call my girls my pink stoners and things like that. So that's how we came up with the name Pink Stone.
Yeah, I don't have a super deep story either. When I started this organization, I was already in the DC market running Madam Green Grow, which is another whole nother entity. But when I started this organization in particular, it was called the Maryland Cannabis Community Partnership. And I was very upset at the commission. Another story for another day. Had an amazing sesh, and Miss Frizzle came to me, for those who watched the Magic School Bus back in the day, and I was like, oh, they always take these fun field trips and they go exploring. Explore Maryland Cannabis. There's 6 segments of our ecosystem: patients, providers, professionals, industry, government, and business. So being able to access all of those and giving people an opportunity to explore those different pathways, it just made sense.
Yeah, I know you and Acia said you don't have deep meanings, but Pink Stone to me makes me feel really fancy, even when I'm just like on the, I'm just like Pink Stone. Yeah. I feel, I feel the vibes of the brand. And for Explore Maryland, I mean, it sounds exciting to me. And now that I know that it's based on the Magic School Bus a little bit, I was like, that really does make sense. Explore Maryland Cannabis. It's almost like, those commercials that states have for where they want you to explore what's going on in their state. That's kind of the vibes that I get from it.
Can I plug Keisha's? I just love Keisha's company so much. Like she'll be like, yeah, we're gonna like smoke up and like go on and like what is that river called in Baltimore? Piscataway, I don't know, something with a P. I don't know Maryland like that, but we're going out on some mirror, like we're gonna be here, and I'm just like, that's such a good idea. Like bringing people together in community around cannabis, doing something together. Like, I love it. I don't know. Anyway.
I grew up in a big family. So it was only right for me to, build a big community.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. I want to just take the next couple of minutes to talk a little bit about what you guys have next. If COVID has taught us anything, is that we've got to know how to pivot. So take a couple of seconds and tell us what's next for your company, what you're planning to do, how you want to scale, your rebranding, or anything that you want folks to know before we head out. Let's see, all right, Keisha, you can go first.
Awesome. Well, March is Women's History Month. Like I mentioned earlier, we have a big focus on workforce. We're gearing up actually for some super secret things that I can't quite mention, but we're ironing out the details. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're geared to build a big community, so you can always tap in and join the membership. Right now, it's $10 a month. It will be going up next month as we slide into April. But of course, we have our trainings and our workshops coming up. And then, also we have our new series of meetups called Connections. You can check those out. And we kind of bringing folks together to a particular topic we're talking about. This month, we're talking about entrepreneurship. So yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, we have so much going on. We were supposed to launch our subscription boxes. However, we were blessed finally after 19 months of rejection to finally get a commercial kitchen. I can finally separate home and business. Y'all don't understand how much that means to us. This pandemic has definitely showed me how resilient I am. So right now we're just kind of focusing on getting the kitchen space kind of built out and finishing that stuff. We're rebranding as we reformulate the products with the Rooted in Good program. We're super excited about re-releasing all of our products. Like I said, the beverage will be the first one because we're finished with that one, and then we'll kind of slowly reintroduce the rest of our products. And with our subscription boxes, since I have these ladies on the line, we did a call for local creators because yes, we love cannabis, and cannabis for me is about connection and community. So what we're doing is we're asking any local makers that want to add anything, any information, any products to our box, just reach out to me. Some things we're just going to have like one time that'll be in the box. And then with some people, we're doing wholesale orders because we want to kind of keep their products in our monthly boxes. So we have a lot that we're going to be rolling out, but we got to get this kitchen together first.
Yeah, no, I was Tamika. I know that's the hardest thing, trying to get a lease on a space that will people that will let you work with cannabis, fully legal, fully licensed. They don't care. The minute you say cannabis,
Yes, that was the thing. We just wanted to tell the truth, and it was like no, 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 no. And then finally,
yeah, no, I can't wait to beat it off schedule. It's just I can't. But anyway, okay. I would say a couple things, right? So for me, we are finding like a large amount of success in the with our hemp flower smoke blends, and I really want to move into the wholesale space. And so I was in touch with a dispensary recently, and I was like, I think this might be the direction to go. I wasn't thinking like B2C might be the way, but now I'm like, no, I think. Yeah. So anyway, if you are a dispensary looking for a Black femme-owned, like organic, high quality, third-party potency tested line of products that correlate with your cannabis offerings, we have hemp flower smoke blends. I'd love to have a conversation with folks around that. I'm absolutely looking for money. So if you are interested in investing in a Black femme-owned cannabis company, hit me up. I think I really have to say, and I like, again, because everybody on this panel, I think taps into this too, right? I think the future of businesses and business owners and people consuming things, people want to know who they're buying from, what it is. They want to know our stories. They want to see people that look like us and tell our stories of how we got here and what we did. And they want us to be heart-centered and like open, I think, about our journeys as entrepreneurs. And I think people care about that. And so that's a big selling point that I'm hoping more and more folks in the cannabis industry, even outside of it, tap into. So I'd say hit me up. And I think that's it.
So for me, I don't have a product, but I pride myself on being a connector. So we are actually gearing up for our next event, which is going to be an experiential touch point for consumers with a really great brand that's based out of California. So we're working on that for the end of March. And like I said, our main thing is connecting women, and not just women, because guys come to our events too, but connecting consumers with high quality brands. So I've had Tamika's Reset Wellness drink at the Marijuana Matters meet and greet, and that drink is absolutely amazing. So I would love to even partner with some of you guys in getting your products in front of our girls. So that's really what we're working on. And like I said, we haven't held a public event in 2 years. So now that some of the COVID restrictions are, I don't even know what they are right now because the CDC doesn't know, but I think people are more comfortable now gathering. So we're going to be planning some more in-person events, intimate events, things like that. So look out for that. And if anybody is interested, like I said, the best way to find out about events is on our website.
Awesome. Well, this has been such an inspiring conversation. I'm so glad that you guys were available and ready. I knew you were going to be ready to have this conversation. And thank you so much for giving, allowing us to showcase your brands, here in our nation's capital and surrounding states. So very excited. Thank you to Women Grow. I believe G is going to come back and chat with me for a little bit. But wow, I was like taking mental notes, and I talk to you guys all the time. I was just taking mental notes on like what I'm going to be texting you about later after this.
This is, when I tell you, first of all, Ashley, yes, I want to try that intimacy product. Hello. That's a grown conversation that I am ready to have and understand how products are used. And then I'd like to skip over to Tamika, who has the nerve to be sipping on her juice in front of us. And I'm like, but I'm parched. I'm parched and I'm thirsty. And I would like to try some reset. I could use a reset. And then Keisha Reed. And so if you ever hear me say, I renamed her, not just by her first name. I said, from now on, you must always introduce yourself by your full name, Keisha Reed. Keisha Reed, I loved, first of all, exploring is awesome. And yes, going to like have some elevation and explore, but everything that you're doing in Maryland, I absolutely love, love, love. And then Miss Nay, I'm listening to you. And how crazy. And when I heard you say Brown Girl Jane, I was like, that's why her face looks so familiar. And I was trying to put the dot, connect the dots. Courtney, kudos to you, my sister. Thank you so much for bringing all of these incredible women to us today. I made notes. I'm laughing. I'm back here backstage like, yes, okay, I love it. The energy was great. The stories were great. Tamika, I feel like I do remember you from 2019, and that's so funny to hear this come full circle for all of you. And this is what we love at Women Grow, right? To hear people who have been to our events and say, oh, I started out at a Women Grow event and I went off and I did something else. And that's exactly what you're supposed to do. I always say that Women Grow is my gateway into the industry. Like, I connect with incredible business minds, with just products and just incredible people. And I am so grateful that you all spoke up, because closed mouths do not get fed. And business always needs some kind of funding, some kind of investment, as well as consumers to go and buy our products. And I am so proud that you took the time on this platform to not only tell us about your product, but how people can find it. Thank you for the offers. Oh, people always love a cute little discount, but it's awesome that you did that, because we also know how challenging it is in this industry to market and to get that message out there. So thank you so much, Courtney, for bringing all these incredible women together. You all, this is not the last time. We invite you back. We want you to come back. And to anyone that's watching, listen, if you missed part of this, guess what? There's a replay. As soon as we wrap up, you will be able to watch this from the beginning. And I ask you to please watch from the beginning, because each of these women, from Nay to Keisha Reed to Tamika to Ashley to Courtney, they all brought incredible stories about what Marijuana Matters does, which we love because it's bringing incredible businesses together, to all of these entrepreneurs who left their jobs or who does it, part-time, or they jumped in. And that's exactly what we're saying. Commit to something, even if you have to start small and you grow into it, but commit to it. And I applaud them all. Thank you so much. As I said, this is our final Black History Month celebration, but the launch of our HERstory Month celebration. So thank you so much, Marijuana Matters, for collaborating with us. And tune in, because we've got incredible lineup for March. So thank you so much. Gia from Women Grow. Take it away, Tanya.